You guys gotta give me a minute. Hey, Molly. I had to adjust. Is that Piero for real? Are you really here?
Thunder followed us.
Look at this.
Find us here.
It's a speaker.
For my witness, I'm your mutineer.
Check this solo out. Hello, Mr. Love. So I have a new record coming out that I didn't even know I had coming out. Kind of exciting. Hi, Catherine Forsteri. Yeah, on Blue Coast. Cookie Marenko is just, she's cool like that. Last night she messaged, Jim Chang, there you are. She messaged, she said, I have a surprise for you. And then we talked today for like 20 minutes about 11:11 and hi Jay, all this stuff. And then she goes, remember those 2 sessions you did with Matt Rawlings? And I went, yeah, like 12 years ago or something. I made a record. I put 9 of them out, put them together, and she remixed and remastered. And it's called Mutineer. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Ruth. I gotta give Ruth a hug. You sounded so beautiful last night. Even my mom goes, Ruth Love. Is she famous? And I go, yeah, kinda. She's really good. Everybody was so great last night. If I had my applause here, I would. Hendersonville, North Carolina. Hi, Kimberly K. Salent. So, you guys that are here right now, Thursday nights, Corona Roki. It's the shit. It's the bomb shit, as Gina Melita would say. Gina Melita. Oh, wow. That's me again. A lot of me going on right now. Hi, Lou. Dave, Molly Moore, Rain. I have to wave to all of you real quick. Piero, are you still here?
The more I want you.
This is old.
Somehow this feeling.
This is old and I had bronchitis. So I do this, they don't tell me. Quick story. I did a week of master classes at a Mendocino Community College in Ukiah, California. Everyone did it. Henry Butler, Stephen Bernstein, Jenna Mammina, Peter Applebaum. It was this cool thing for quite a while, for many years. And every year I did like 10 days and it would culminate with a concert. I just cut my hair, like I had shaved my head and it was short but it, you needed to style it, right? Well, the rehearsal happens. Alex DeGrassi played, and a trio called Beep, and also Robin Lewis. And at like 6 o'clock, they said, okay, we're going to start early. I'm like, okay. So if you need to get, whatever you need, we're going to start in like 45 minutes. I'm like, I got to wash my hair. I ended up washing my hair with what they call gig shampoo. Gig shampoo. No, the joke is it's gig shampoo, but it's really for wigs. So I washed my hair with wig shampoo, and I was coming down with bronchitis. And they did a multi-camera video shoot and 24-track recording of this. And ever since then, they made the video for what's that? When it's the town you live in, public access. They made it for public access. For years, this particular concert with my wig hair glued to my head, and I'm like, can't even barely talk because I'm coughing, is played on television in Mendocino County like every night at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I would be walking down the street and people would go, do I know you? And I'd be like, I'm Lisa Mamina's sister. Are you a singer? And I was like, at first I was like, yeah, I'm Jenna Mammina, Lisa Mamina's sister, because my sister was like the mayor of Ukiah at one point. Not really, but. And I'd be like, yeah, Lisa Mammina. And they're like, no, somewhere else. Oh my God, I see you on TV at 4 o'clock in the morning. You look kind of different. And I'm like, yeah, because I was on my way to getting a wig. Not really, but anyway. I know you're back, Lulanza. Gina Melita. Oh good, we can split. Oh yay. Emily Clee. Well, I know you're not famous, but in my eyes you are a big, big star. Good evening, Melanie. Hello, Mr. Bill. Oh my goodness, all these people. Catherine. Yes, it was. You have to talk to my producer as far as singing a song. But someone did sing. Hi, Mama Grace. Hey, Janelle. Did I sound like Louis Armstrong? Did I sound like... What a wonderful world. I don't think I can sound like Louis Armstrong. But maybe. Your brother does. I gotta get you guys back here. You gotta come back. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. I sang it last week. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You're only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird fly. Oh, the bronchitis. Yeah, it was the trip. Oh wow, there I am again. Off. So tonight we got Chef Gina Melita, Jenna Mammina, and Gina Melita. She's in New Orleans, and I'm in St. Joe, Michigan, and it's getting hot in here. It is really hot. It's not getting. Oh, I forgot to put my little light on. Let's see what happens if I do. Ooh. I kind of like that. You like that? Okay. Let me go back. I haven't seen Gina in a while. She was on vacay. Hey, Larry Podgen. Wow. Melanie. Gina Melita. So check it out, Gina. So adding. All you gotta do is accept. Connect.
Hey. Second. Stabilize my phone. Give me a minute. I gotta put my little something underneath it because it's gotta go sideways, and I'm not just having.
Get a watch or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty crafty. I got this. Oh, that's like a bag of Ricola. Steady you out.
I didn't do a gig tonight. You need to lower your volume.
Oh, sorry. Lower my volume. Yeah, I've been doing this my whole life. Welcome to my world. Hold on.
Welcome. You need to lower it more.
Oh, okay.
Won't you?
Is that better?
I don't know. Nope, still there.
I need to lower my what? Volume?
The volume.
I've got it almost all the way down. Okay.
Hey, do you have headphones?
Yes. Give me 1 second. I have to find them. Is it feeding back? Is that why? Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry. First of all, I didn't realize I had to turn my phone the other way. I had it all stabilized. All the way down.
We sound like space.
Give me 1 second.
Thank you, Linda.
Is it feeding back? Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry. First of all,
We did get night
turn my phone the other way.
because Tom family and I was hanging out. We sound like space. Like reverb. And we did get night because Tom
Sorry to leave you. I'm back.
and I was hanging out. Like hello.
All right, are we in?
There she is.
Do we have liftoff?
We have liftoff. Trippy. Jim's here, and this is the first time Jim's been around in a while. He's been on vacay.
Jim too?
Jim Chang.
Yeah, where was he?
Just hanging.
Oh, dude, nothing like that. It's awesome.
Just hanging. Hanging and getting paid for it, I guess.
Oh, I'm getting weird, like loop. So you're looping with me. Like I'm hearing what you just said 10 seconds ago. It's super weird.
Still?
I think it's because I joined and then
You think it's because why?
I got on your broadcast and then I got separated from my Wi-Fi. So I think I'm in the past. we're experiencing, no, we're good now. Oh, no, see.
If I don't talk, do I still feedback?
Yeah. Okay. How are we going to fix this? This is
How about
super
we
weird.
try? I'm going to hang up. We'll try it one more time.
Let's do that. Excellent.
Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the night of the dark black night. Now I need to find her again. Gina Melita. You guys have any questions about food? Do you have anything in your refrigerator you're like, what am I gonna do with that something? Gina. How are you?
I think we're good. Can you hear me?
Feedback?
No. Yay. Oh, I closed it out completely. I closed out Facebook completely and then came back on. So, yay. I think we're good.
Hi.
Okay, so here we are. Hey.
How
It's
was your
been a
vacation?
bit.
It looked
It was so great. My husband was a genius, and I don't throw that out there lightly. I was really skeptical. He was, maybe 4 weeks ago said, "Am I crazy if I want to go camping?" I thought, "Oh my God, I just want to stay at home. I just want to circle the wagons and not do anything at all." And he's like, "No, really, we should go to out there." And so I didn't hear anything about it for about 2 weeks. And I thought, well, maybe he forgot about it and I'm out of the woods. But no, he was doing his research and figuring stuff out. Well, it turns out car rentals are cheap because we had 3 teenagers to go with us. And campgrounds are super cheap. And if you camp, you're not near anybody, especially if you camp in the middle of absolutely fucking nowhere. And they're cheap. And also no international travelers right now. So everywhere you go you kind of have it to yourself. And we were really keeping up with the news and what was opening. So we went to the South Rim of the Grand Canyon like the day after it opened. And so when we got there, there was nobody there. I mean, it was like nobody. It was insane. Like I tried to explain to the kids, y'all, you don't understand. You normally have to be waiting like 20 minutes or half an hour, just to walk up and take this picture. Like we're just like cruising around, sitting around, talking, taking photos. It was, and I'd never been to the Grand Canyon before, but I mean, I'd heard that. None of us had been. My husband had, but back in the, 90s or something like that. And so we had an opportunity to go to Big Bend, the state park, the Big Bend Ranch State Park, because National wasn't open yet, which was incredible. We got to swim in the Rio Grande. We all got to step on Mexico without a passport. We felt like scofflaws. Took pictures. It was beautiful, really gorgeous. I mean, just amazing, amazing, amazing. Which was sweet because my stepdaughter, she was supposed to go to Mexico this summer with some of her friends and one of her friends' mom, and they had to cancel their trip. Like they had they did everything, and they had to cancel it. I was going to be about 4 or 5 of her friends. So she got to go to Mexico and took pictures, which was like kind of like, I mean, yeah, it's Mexico stepping on a rock, but dude, still technically you made it. And got to hang out in Terlingua, which is a very tiny little town, Terlingua, Texas, which is a tiny little town outside of Big Bend. Ghost town, and yet it's this really super poppin' little place. Got to sing on the porch with some old dude playing cowboy tunes, and embarrass my children, which is an important part of every vacation. Yes. Yeah. Got to sleep in some old beat up old beautiful places that there was just nobody around. It was brilliant. My husband was really smart. Like he had this vision, and I was very skeptical. He read it, and I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere, and yet there we were. So it was beautiful, and the scenery of we went to state parks. We went to the place where he found a lot of the campsites that weren't parks was called HipCamp, HIP, HipCamp. So if you go to hipcamp.com, it's like all these people, they're like, yeah, I got this freaky organic farm on a mountaintop in New Mexico. I got 2 campsites. Y'all want to show up? It's $20. Get as close as you can in your car and don't start any fires, kind of thing. It's like, it's amazing. So we completely used HipCamp to find some of the greatest camping spots. Really exceptional. Gila Hot Springs, and and you know what I'm talking about, and the cave dwellings, the cliff dwellings at Gila Hot Springs, unbelievable, like mind blown. We tried to do something every day that was like a destination or something really interesting. Drive no more than 5 hours, because we do have 3 kids with us. I mean, they're teenagers, like they know how to,
like
they were all,
have their own headphones on, and they're just.
oh yeah, absolutely. And they were all smart. They all sort of downloaded their own. They weren't relying on the internet. They downloaded their own like shit that they wanted on their phone before they left, so on playlists and games. My husband and I were like, we can't get a signal. Where's our music? And it's like, they're like, So what was cool though, because we ended up putting like their music on and I was like, dude, this is awesome. And, so we had a chance to our kids were surprised, like how much we liked their music. I'm like, well, I wasn't born in the freaking 20s. You know what I mean? It's like, hello. So it's also given me an opportunity to turn my son on to some what I grew up listening to, which is like 90s, old school rap and shit like that. Anyway, what was really fun was that we tried not to push it too hard. We just went as far as we could. We made reservations along the way as we went at places that were opening up. And if we really, really had to, we could sleep in the car. That was the thing. We never went too far from our car. It wasn't like, when I was back in high school, like going for a week-long canoe trip and that's all you had. Like we could go to the convenience store. I mean, we kind of cheated a little, but dude, it's a pandemic. Cheat. What's up?
But you went on vacation during the pandemic. I thought that was so cool. And were gorgeous.
Oh my God, it was absolutely amazing. And I used to do a lot of tent camping back when I was a kid. My mom and stuff, like Girl Scouts. She was a Girl Scout leader, and I mean, like it sounds trite, but it's not. I mean, like she was serious. I mean,
Hard
like,
work.
fucking Girl Scout leader in the '70s with a bunch of girls. She was like in this shitty little town. She's like, I'm saving your ass. You know, she was like, we're gonna go do hard stuff, and you're gonna
I quit.
know that you're worth it. What? Am I not supposed to curse?
No, I said I quit
Oh.
Girl Scouts.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't have a choice.
Once I jumped over the pond, you know, when you jumped over the meter.
Oh yeah.
Like that afternoon.
My God, I forgot about that.
And then you turned, and if they said something, I was like, "This is
Yes.
weird, Mom.
I forgot about the jumping over the pond shit, dude. That's awesome though. What a great little ceremony. So yeah, I grew up doing camping thing like big time, like setting up those. Remember tents back in the '70s? They were like canvas. They weighed like 150 pounds.
Oh.
And they all had very complicated stakes and things, and you could never find them all. You'd always lose them. They smelled like old milk.
Right.
Those days are over. Tents are great now. And so like I love our.
You like press a button and they go poof, and it's
Well,
open.
we didn't quite have that, but we did have a beautiful, wonderful 3-person nylon tent with a top on it that you could remove. So most nights were really beautiful, and we just took the top off and could see the stars. And got the ventilation, and it was pretty great. The kids each had their own tents. They could do what they wanted, and if they didn't want to sleep in the tent, they could sleep in the car. But they mostly slept in their tents, and
Did you see any?
It was pretty great.
Animals?
Did I see any? You know what's weird? We kept hearing about all these possibilities of seeing animals. Not really, no. We heard a lot of coyotes and bullfrogs, but other than that, I was a little like, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We had pepper spray, a pellet gun, and what's that thing, the air horn, in case we saw anything like bears or mountain lions or anything got too close. We never needed it.
There was a mountain lion in San Francisco the other day.
Right? So I was like, dude, if they're in San Francisco, they could definitely be in
Right.
Turlingwood, Texas. Hello, can I get a witness?
They're like,
Yeah, right. I mean, that's absolutely possible. But luckily, we didn't have any of that. We didn't have any of that. It was serendipitously perfect. So even when we got to Texas, the guy, we pulled up into this place. It's called the Goat Pens. It's an old goat pen. He bought it, I think, back, he said, in the 80s. And he is just, the idea was to do as little to it as possible, preserve this beautiful piece of land, and maintain an access road that he has loaned to the county so that people who are continuing to purchase property, he said that was a blessing and a curse, but he still knows it's the right thing to do. But he was, he didn't really want to do anything to it. There wasn't any running water. It was no potable water. It was just like some cistern fed hand washing at the really nice latrines, and same with the showers. And it was fine. You show up, you pitch a tent. If you can find a fire circle, that's your campsite. It was nothing. I mean, we pulled up and he's like, yeah, well, yesterday we lost the porch. And I go through about a porch a year, and yesterday was a day. It was about 110 degrees yesterday, and the winds really kicked up. We had a bit of a water incident, and I'm like looking around, looking at my husband, and I thought, why do you hate me? Why do you hate us? Why are we here? Because it was so extreme. It was so extreme. And then we stayed the night, and it was so beautiful. We stayed the next night. This one of the places we booked 2 nights, and it was really beautiful and one of my favorite memories. But when you first pull up and you're looking around, you literally feel like you landed on the moon, and it's like, why do you hate me? Like, why did you book that? What did I ever do? But then,
sounds
it's all
great.
good. It was really, actually, it ended up being absolutely fantastic. It was,
It
yes.
looked like it.
I think what's really funny is, my husband's a chef. We both are. People have asked me, so what are those great gourmet meals you cooked on the road? I'm like, s'mores and like sardines and crackers. And there was no gourmet. There was, I think one morning was eggs, bacon, and pancakes. And that was like the big one once. And then it was like, you know what, kids? Not so much. We're just gonna, it was none of that. We didn't have time. I mean, we cooked and made some nice pasta with, but really, no. And I would love to maintain the mystery that we were like, yeah, we're going to the grocery store. We're going to Fresh Market. And we're buying arugula. And I was like, no, it's not like that. No.
Here's some pizza,
We are keeping hummus and pita at the truck stop. It's like, we are keeping you alive. Eggs were a big one. Cheese, eggs, ham, pasta, very important part of camping cooking.
Well,
Sorry.
asking about a food that I know what I would do.
Okay.
But she said she saw these ingredients on Chopped and bought them, and apparently when she was asleep shopping on Amazon, and it's ghee and roti.
Roti, like the bread?
Yeah.
Roti? And what was the other one? Roti
Ghee.
and what?
Ghee. You know what I do with ghee?
Ghee. Oh, yeah, like butter.
But
Like
you know what
clarified
I do
butter.
with ghee?
Yeah.
I put it on my face.
Dude, except that it's dairy. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put dairy on your face.
Oh, I love
The olive oil, anything
No.
plant-based, I wouldn't put.
I'm telling
Really?
you. Ghee.
Really? Well, you learn something new every goddamn day. Oh, Jenna, and I had to tell you, the CBD cream that you gave me saved my life. I put that on every single my cuticles, my face, girl. I'm saying, like, that stuff saved me because I have dry skin, and so I was fortunate to bring along some good moisturizers that I have, my Korean stuff, and then I was like, I have to bring this too. The lips, the eyes, everything, the cuticles.
I'm making it into a liquid form. So I'm going to have a serum and then a topical.
The greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, it'll
saved my life.
I'll be marketing it in the next probably 2 months.
And every time I pulled it out, the kids would look at me and go be like, what? Because, it smells like weed.
When you're on the
They're like,
I always
Mom, what's up? What? I don't know what that smells like. What is that? I was like, B, please.
medicine. It's really good. I mean, it's great for burns. It's what I put on my face all the time. Good night, Lou.
All the time.
I've been carrying it on my person for 10 plus years.
Right.
And 2 quick stories. One time we were in Portland getting ready to take off, and all of a sudden and I forgot I had it in my bag because I just keep it in my bag.
Right. Mm-hmm.
10 plus years. I said, all of a sudden these 2 German shepherds walk up with their napkins, right? And they just drop down at my bag. They're like,
and you're like, shit.
No, I wasn't thinking. I live in Mendocino County. What am I, like, people are like smoking bongs on.
I know, right? Smoking weed everywhere, right? Yeah, right. It's like,
and so I'm like, and they go, do you have any marijuana in your bag? And I'm like, no, because I don't smoke. I don't, do anything.
Yeah,
Are you sure
right.
you don't
But
have
you
anything in
have.
your bag? And the dogs are like, like passed out in my bag.
they're
All of
like,
a sudden I go, I do have something that I put on my face topically, and they go, can you show it to us? And I showed it to the guy, and he's like, all right, put it back in. But when I do open it up on the plane, you always see people go like this. Like I watch, they're like.
Yeah, they're like looking around like, who's got the weed?
Sell it on the plane. I've sold it to flight attendants. Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh, I
Good
bet.
stuff.
No,
I'm glad
it
you
was
liked
amazing. It really saved me. And so if your friend is asking what to do with ghee and the bread, honestly, I think just warming it up, toasting it up, either put it in a toaster, put it in a broiler, put it in the oven, or if you just have a pan, because right now my oven's broken, which is cruel. Oh yeah, it's been broken for over a month now. Right when the lockdown hit, I was like, oh no, we can't bake bread or make pizza or do any of that fun stuff. Whatever. Or put it in a pan, just top it, and then use it, like a flatbread, top it with things that have flavors together, like feta and figs and, basil, or like, anything that you would put into an omelet also works, like, peppers and onions and mushrooms. So top it like you would, like that bread is so wonderful. I like to eat, I love bread, but I try not to eat just copious amounts of it. So I eat a lot of open-faced stuff. And
you eat a lot of
that bread, open-faced.
Oh, open-faced.
Where I don't put a top thing on it. I just eat it open, and I eat it like a piece of pizza, So use it like a piece of pizza, but put any flavors that go together on. There's just endless amounts of of options for that. And yeah, it's an Indian bread, but it's a bread. I mean, let's get serious. Let's not get caught up in all that. You know, it has to be Indian. It doesn't have to be. It can be whatever toppings that you like.
And I like to put ghee on as as a topping for.
Oh yeah. Because ghee is for those who don't know, ghee is very common in Indian cooking. It's a way of heating up butter that removes the whey, water, salt, and any kind of milk solids. So it's pure oil, and so you don't have. It doesn't make things wet. It doesn't burn as quickly. It has a much higher what we call smoke point, which is how hot you can get an oil before it starts to burn. So it has a high smoke point, which means you can get that shit hot, and it just tastes really good. It gets kind of golden. So ghee is what the French call beurre clarifié, or so same thing. And it's great. It's good stuff, and you can. It's also when you're in Maine and you eat lobster and you eat that, like, and you get the little butter on the side. That's what that is. You're eating it with ghee, or melted butter that has all the impurities taken out of it. Yeah, all the solids taken out. All the water's gone. There's a lot of water in butter. It's like 10%, 20%, 20% water.
I'm wondering if anyone ever did something. My dad, we used to eat a lot of corn on the cob. Kid here.
Oh yes.
And
yeah.
A mason jar, and fill it with water, and then melt 2 sticks of butter and pour it on top.
Okay.
And then you dip the corn into the jar, and
Pull it back out again.
And you pull it out, and it gets covered with butter.
How interesting. So, wow. I mean, I get it. We would just like put the butter on the plate and just like spin it.
Right. We did that. Oh, so Linda did
that. Was very high tech that you had that
whole
thing going on there.
Yeah.
Very high tech.
Do it and pull it out. They used a coffee can. Okay.
Interesting. I've never ever heard of that. See? See, this is what happens when I'm attached.
At the beginning of the show.
So you learn something new every damn day. Something else I learned this week. I've been a chef now for over 30 years. Serious? Okay, a cook for over 30 years.
Not white, Jim.
Yeah, that's okay. I can't see the comments, otherwise I would be like looping it up with you too.
Jim just called it weird white people shit, and I'm like, honey, you haven't seen my family. But okay.
Dude, we'll talk. No, so I have been making sauces, cream sauces, using milk and everything my whole life, literally my whole life. Even before, I mean, when I was a teenager, my mom taught me how to make a bechamel, like for making mac and cheese, because we'd make fresh mac and cheese, with like cheddar and the butter and flour and the milk and the thing and the whole deal. Right. So just this past week, it's a long story, but I found myself in possession of a case of evaporated milk. Evaporated milk.
A case?
Evaporated milk, a case, which is like 24 cans. Right?
Drink a case of you.
And so I'm like going to make my son some pasta with cream sauce. I'm like, I don't have any cream. I was like, all that evaporated milk. Dude, I threw that evaporated milk in that pan, and it was like cream sauce. I thought, where have you been my whole life? Why am I spending money on heavy cream?
Evaporated milk.
Freaking okay. Yes. A can. See, this is how exciting it is. I actually threw my phone on the table twice. A can of evaporated milk is like the greatest thing ever. I put it in my coffee. I've been putting it. I started drinking coffee just to use up the evaporated milk, because I gave up coffee for years, and I'm like, or I could have a cup of coffee. I'm not working today. That's crazy talk. And it makes the most amazing cream sauces. So that's my little nugget. In addition to telling you, making sure that you know that your CBD oil and cream is amazing, I really wanted to mention the whole freaking evaporated milk is like the Rosetta Stone. It's crazy. I'm like,
so why? So I want to make. So would I make macaroni and cheese with it?
Yeah. Absolutely. Like all that's absolutely, yeah. And you would not need as much roux or any. Like honestly, it's reduced already for you, girl. Like you don't eat gluten. Like you don't have to make a roux. You just throw you probably if you made mac and cheese with some gluten-free noodles, you wouldn't it's already thick. And it's
Right.
not as bleh, as heavy, heavy cream is so and it breaks. You know what I mean? It's so fatty. It's like, dude, nobody really needs that.
So did you
I
poured it into the pan and heated it up?
and I was already sauteing like onions and garlic, and I had some peppers and that kind of thing. And then I normally would put in some kind of wine or something, which I didn't reduce it, and then put in the evaporated milk, and it just immediately thick. I was like
Doesn't get
thick.
like all weird and
Nope, it doesn't break. It doesn't get weird. It's just evaporated milk,
yeah,
and
great.
it comes in a
Great.
can.
I call
That
it
shit lasts forever, dude. I got like 20 more cans. I'm so excited. I'm like, wee. I don't even care. I'm like, oh,
I do avocado.
I don't know, but we're gonna find out, aren't we?
I think you
got
could do
a lot of
really
cans.
decadent mousse or a
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And the thing is that it's not sweetened condensed milk. It's not sugary. It's evaporated milk. So it's just a can of like evaporated milk, and it's also one of those things that people who are, I don't know, in a pandemic or maybe bugging out, like want to have in their larder, because that's one of the reasons I grabbed it. It was at work, and I knew that the date was coming up, and I thought it got delivered to me by accident where I work. And so I was like, I didn't order this. It was free. It's been sitting on a shelf for a year. I'm going to take it home with me during the pandemic and see what I can do with some evaporated milk. Well, that's what I did.
My least favorite dish to this day is macaroni and cheese. How can your least favorite dish be macaroni and cheese?
Well, apparently you haven't had mine, baby.
I'm thinking.
Just putting that out there.
Thinking.
But it's, if you don't like pasta and you don't like cheese and you don't like love, that's okay. Did I say that?
Okay, Julie,
Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's okay.
So speaking of your job, have you heard anything?
All I heard was that there is no plan yet. For those who don't know, heard that today. That was the latest update. No plans. For those of you who don't know, I work in school food service. I work at a Catholic school in uptown New Orleans, and I'm the food service director. I make sure that everyone on campus eats well, and I write all the menus, I order all the food, I make sure everything's good. I work for a great company, and we contract with the school. And my husband does the same thing, and I have a lot of friends here who are in the same company. It's great. But at the end of the day, no one really knows what's going on. The CDC recommends that kids eat in the classrooms, and I think that is smart. It's a logistical nightmare for in terms of containing the spread for kids that are at the campus. It's probably really smart. So they could come to the cafeteria, grab what they want, and run out the door, basically. That's sort of what we're seeing, but that could change. I mean, it could very easily be that the archdiocese decides that they don't want to deal with parents have to provide lunch, and I'm out of a job. I mean, or I could be busier than ever and have people. So we could just be like, suddenly we're like food trucking it all over the. I mean, we have no idea what's going on, and we open in 8 weeks. So yay us. Yay. But, I mean, honestly, food service is the least thing that people should be worried about or concerned about when it comes to their kids going back to school. I mean, there's so many other factors. Education is the most important thing. I mean, I know that, I understand that. I have kids, but it is a little terrifying. I have no idea. I'm very fortunate, though. I'm still employed. Because I'm management and I'm still working and planning for the coming months. But if the powers that be decided they don't need me, and there we go, free falling.
Come hang out with me.
I always land on my feet, girl. It's all good.
I'll come hang out with you in New Orleans, and we can make.
Baby, I cook for a living. I got no worries. I'll always. There's always somebody want to eat. Pay me for it. Always.
Oh yeah.
No matter what. Guarantee it.
I remembered, I just thought of an evaporated milk story. My parents went to Mexico when we were young, and we had this woman named Mrs. Pope. And
Okay.
she was our babysitter, and she made evaporated milk, and we put ice cubes in it.
Oh, okay.
But other people are talking about they make soup, and Ruth
Oh,
loved
yeah,
it.
it's crazy talk. Like, I don't know where I've been. I mean, talk about under a rock. I mean, I guess chefs, we're just really like stubborn pains in the asses and don't want to open up a can for anything. Sorry, but it's true. It's like, I'll stand here all day and monitor this milk. Like, not realizing that, some
No, evaporated milk is decent. It's good.
factory like does it on a much broader
Well, it's
scale
processed.
under controlled circumstances that always comes out perfect because that's what they do for a living. And we just refuse to acknowledge it because we're freaking stubborn and pig-headed and we can do everything better. It's like, no, actually you kind of can't. You burn the milk, probably waste a lot.
My friend Ruth she never had mac and cheese until she moved to the U.S.
Oh, I can believe that. Yeah, I believe that. Yes. And if it's bad, it's really bad. And if it's good, it's really good.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever had. I don't get to eat macaroni and cheese very often unless I make it.
I bet. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can't really say I have mac and cheese I didn't like.
I have.
Maybe if it's rough or something.
I'm half, yeah, some of that food ain't so good. Man, sorry, Mom. No, my mother actually made the best mac and cheese. It was some of her friends would, you hang out with the parents' friends, and when you're a kid, and they don't really know how to cook too much. Mrs. Sawsville across the street, no bueno. No bueno.
Well, yeah, I had friends that's moms used Hamburger Helper, and I came home, I was like, Mom.
Oh, my mom made hamburger helper all the time. Oh yeah, I started cooking.
We ate tacos and pasta.
Yeah.
Tortillas. My mom made tortillas every morning, and we'd have rice and beans and pasta and meatballs, and
right.
then mothers need everything.
I mean, my mom was a very good cook, but we didn't have resources. So, people were like, how'd you get into cooking? I was like, well, as soon as I could, I got a job in a kitchen because I have a very creative family, right? Fuck. Oops. One more time. I have a very creative family. So I had one sister that was really into like art, like visual art. And then she became a born-again Christian and she didn't want anything to do with it. So she went to Bible college. I was like, I'm not down with that. And then my other sister was really into dance. She went to NYU for dance, all this stuff. And I'm the youngest. And I'm like, damn, like none of that shit is going to work for anybody past the age of like 25. I'm like, what can I do that's creative, that's practical, that I like to do? I can do other shit. I was like, oh, cooking. So 13, 14 years old, I realized cooking was a jam and I could like eat. I'd never go hungry, right? Smart. I grew up on limited means. You're like, how do I get fed every day? Oh, wait, cook. Yay. So I happened to grow up in a state, New York State, where they're the best cooking school in the country, one of the top 3 anyway, Culinary Institute of America. So I made my sights on that, went there. And, I just kind of like, that's what I did. But how did I get into cooking was also like, and I say this in tongue in cheek, and I don't mean any disrespect to my mother, but truly self-defense. Like she went back to work and shit, like when I was 12, and I just didn't want any more frozen dinners, So I was like, as soon as I get old enough to make some money, I'm going to go to the grocery store, I'm going to buy fresh food, I'm going to cook fresh food. That's it. And so that's what I did. So for all of you who wanted to know, that's how it all started. It's just like, thanks, Mom, but, and she did make good food when she could, but then we hit a patch where we couldn't. So I was like, I got this. That was it.
Well, like my friend Julie just said, her family was very poor, and her mother's worst dish was sliced hot dogs, cooked in tomato sauce, poured over mashed potatoes.
Oh my God, we had the same thing, but it was poured over egg noodles, and I don't know what it was, but it was nasty, and it was hot dogs, tomato sauce, and pasta, and like egg noodles. It was soft, gushy egg noodles, and it was. Julie, I got you, girl. I totally feel you. The other one was stone soup, which was, potatoes, onions, and water, and salt and pepper. stone soup. Like,
Right.
like I said, my mom's Irish. Like that was it, stone soup, dude. Like when days were lean and dad didn't have the job that week, it was like stone soup. It was like, oh,
My dad used to make 7-Up soup.
with actual 7-Up.
Whatever was in the refrigerator, he would just put it in the soup.
Yeah, we called it mom's mixed up mess. It was all the leftovers with a can of Campbell's cream and mushroom soup poured over the top of it and baked with breadcrumbs.
Mm.
And that was mom's mixed up mess.
I
It
get
usually came around about Saturday. It was fucked up, dude. Like my kids be like,
I
I don't know.
Thinking about it.
My kids be like, I don't know if I want the fried rice or the ribs.
Yeah, right.
This sucks. I'm like, dude, seriously, shut up. Oh God, oops, I got rid of you. Whoops, turn around. Yay, here I am again. I'm sorry, I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. It's all good. That's why you like me. That's why you keep me around.
I love, when I first heard you, when you first started talking tonight, I felt like we were back in March. Because you were one of the first people to come on. Oh, my friend Benny Bacon. My mom was a great cook. I just love bringing people together. Yeah, that's what it's about.
I agree. My mom is actually a wonderful cook. She's only gotten better. She went through a vegan period. She always cooked. My dad used to hunt, and so she always had like game around to do. I remember her like cleaning, the heart and the pieces of the meat in the sink. And for the vegetarians, I'm sorry, but it was very good. They game roasts, but then sometimes you go through different stages in life, and you don't always have that fresh venison hanging around you. But no, I get it. I know I love it. I love it.
Great cook. My mom called it weenie goo. Well, she was a
weenie goo.
Weenie goo.
I don't know what that is, but
that's the pasta sauce. That was the sauce
with the hot dogs, dude.
I'm trying to think what's in my.
We called it hot dog casserole. Hot dog
I'm trying
casserole.
to think what I have in my kitchen that
So
I
gross.
could ask you what to do with.
Is there anything you've seen at the grocery store lately? You were like,
No, I'm just trying to think what I have in my fridge because what I do with it is what I do with it. But what would you do with it? So I'm thinking I have one beet in my fridge.
Oh my God, I've had 4 beets in my fridge for like a month now.
Oh,
I keep being like, they're not dead yet. Oh, I roast them. Okay, this is just. I'm sorry. I'm not even moving. It's just that it's. I don't have your little setup like you do. I'm kind of totally jerry-rigged.
I put beets on my cheeks and my lips.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Okay. I'm sorry about this whole like little setup here. It's very rigged.
I'm gonna look in my.
And I'm gonna stabilize my video.
I got something for you.
Yay! All right, here we go. I think this is it. This is gonna stay. Okay.
Okay, I like these, but I'm always trying to figure out, besides what else to do with them. Have you tried these better than noodles?
I have not. Is that like are those like the sweet potato noodles?
These
or
are
is it...
oat fiber. They're organic.
No.
Hanayaku flour and organic oat flour. They're like gooey.
They're gooey.
There's some that are made out of seaweed that I like sometimes.
Right.
But these are they're just like a stir fry thing. But no, I'm not going to do that. I was trying to think of something that I have.
It's okay.
Okay. Besides the regular, what we do with black beans, what would you do with a can of black beans?
Okay. Black beans have the beauty of being so versatile. I'm sure that this might be pedestrian to a lot of people, but I really like doing black bean cakes and serving them as like a brunch item. I mean, instead of flour tortillas, you just kind of make some nice black bean pancakes where you drain out all the extra liquid and then dry them out and mash them up with some seasonings and then turn them into like a black bean cake and serve it with either fried eggs or poached eggs, and then all the stuff that goes on to like a huevos rancheros without having any of that tortilla in there. So instead of having the beans be a component, they actually are part of the base. I think that black beans and beans in general and starches make incredible anything that's made with wheat substitute, as long as you can dry it out enough. And you can even take a cue from when you make falafel. When you make falafel, you don't actually cook the chickpeas, you soak them and then you puree them. So if you were to take black beans, now black beans are a little harder to do that with. You could mostly cook them and then puree them and then make like black bean falafel out of it and season it the exact same way and leave out all of the flour or any kind of wheat.
I like that.
You can make black bean falafel, totally amazing, but you have to be careful because you have to cook them a certain amount. Like with chickpeas, you just soak them and puree them and then make your falafel, but it's a different kind of bean. They hold a different type of moisture. So you can't just do that. You have to actually cook them about 3/4 of the way, drain them really well, and then make black bean falafel, and that is amazing. Just enough cardamoms, a lot of fresh parsley, and do the whole deal, like season them like any other recipe for falafel, and that's incredible. So yeah, I just say use it like as a substitute for a pancake, and use it for like falafels and different things like that. Anyway, I love black beans. I could eat them every day.
I have all kinds of dried goods in my
I've lost you.
No,
Oh no, there you are.
I'm
Okay.
in my cupboard.
Hang on, I'm getting one. Hold on.
What?
She is doing this thing where she's like, wants to talk about food. So asking me what to do with black beans. It isn't like black bean.
Nothing too fancy. Anybody else have anything in your fridge or your cupboard that you're wondering? You guys, have you ever seen these?
Oh wow.
They're crazy. I love these. I just make.
What is that?
They're these noodles.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's nice. I know, man. Noodles.
And I don't eat hot dogs.
No, don't do that. Don't make hot dog casserole. No hot dog casserole. No, just say no. Just say no. I'm sorry, Mama Grace, if you made it, but
Oh no!
I love my mom too, but no bueno.
My mom made homemade sauce. My mom makes
Oh,
her
yeah.
own pasta.
Well, I mean, I get it. Like my mom did too, but not every week. Every week it was something different. My grand.
Pasta every week.
Oh yes, absolutely. There still is. I could eat pasta every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I told you that, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I one of the things you can do with noodles that not everybody does is that that you can you hear me? Instead of doing paella with rice, you can make it with noodles, and it's called fideuà, depending on, I don't know how you really say it, but I know I can spell it. So you can make it just like paella, but instead you can use noodles, and if you have rice noodles, you can do it with rice noodles.
I can do that. I love.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, my dear,
Forget it.
It's not New Year's Eve, but it's not New Year's Eve. It's after midnight, and I'm really tired.
Yeah, I've been talking for a long time.
No.
You gotta tell me to stop.
Not at all.
And then my husband's like, the movie's over.
I love stews. I love stews. No, it's just been a long week, and I'm in lots of my days are so busy. I just realized tomorrow is Saturday again. Like, when did that?
It is.
I feel like I have a friend
All
that comes
day.
on it every Saturday night. One more Saturday night with Gary Lambert, and I feel
Right.
like we just talked like day before yesterday, and it's already Saturday again. And I'm like,
Well, girl, you do this thing twice a day. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, my alarm goes off at 10:05 every day morning, and I was like, I just can't. I was just like, I'm at work. I can't do this. I'm going to check in for a minute and be like, I got you, girl. I got to go. So it's been really nice.
Benny Vega has a question for Gina. What's your question?
Okay.
He says he has a question.
Benny Vega?
So yeah, it's just like these weeks are just
Benny.
up.
Is that you say Benny? What is his question?
I don't know. He just says he has a question for
he's
you.
all right, dude. He's gonna text me your question. He's an old friend of mine. We used to cook. We were both instructors. If it's my Benny,
I think
we were
it's your
both
Benny.
instructors at Cordon Bleu together back in the day. Like I was there from 2007 to 2013. He was there from probably 2008 to probably 2015 or some shit. And he's a wonderful culinary instructor and a great dude. We're
Benny, where
good
do you
friends.
live? Where do you live, Benny?
He lives in Atlanta. Oh, sorry. What was that like north of Atlanta? That the middle of nowhere?
I don't see his question.
Oh, yeah, it's all right.
Benny, Benny, Benny.
He's a good dude. He's
How did she do with her cooking at camping? I don't think he was here yet when you talked about your cooking.
Oh yeah. We ate a lot of not much.
Crackers,
It was
sardines.
a lot of sandwiches, crackers and sardines, some s'mores. I did some pasta. I did some, pancakes, bacon and eggs. A lot of eggs in the morning, toast, and then it was just like I got to keep everybody alive.
Do your
We had
kids cook?
They can. They don't much, but they can. They all know how to stay alive and support themselves. Like if we all threw them on an island, they wouldn't starve because they know how to get fat hot in a pan and put something in it, turn it over, stir it till it's cooked, and eat it. But yes, I actually work with my son every summer a little bit on getting him. He likes to work, cook together and work on getting him in the kitchen and prepping food and making things. And I'm working on a handwritten cookbook for him. I have a blank cookbook. I've started putting recipes in.
Oh, cool.
Like we make his favorite dishes together, and then I write them down and put them in there. So eventually one day I can just give it to him. I don't have as many in there as I wish I did. We've cooked together a lot, but I always forget to kind of write it down. So I've got a few more years before he disappears. So got another 3 years till I got to worry about that.
Her whole big, like two of those metal containers with all the recipes in it. And then my great grandmother, some of my relatives compiled the recipe book of all her stuff.
Wow.
My dad would say they would travel from Michigan to California to Florida, and she would just make everything in one pan.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I get it. That's funny because my stepson, when I first moved down here, was like, "Why do you make everything in one pot? Like it's all in one dish." I said, "Because I'm the one doing the dishes."
I like to cook like that too.
I was like, "Dude, I ain't got time for all that little fucking vegetable starch." No, I'm doing the dishes. One pot. Sorry, baby, you're gonna learn to eat it all.
Benny
Have
said
fun.
he does the same for his boys.
Yeah, I know he does. Oh, Benny. Hey, Benny.
I have a couple of friends that were chefs in Atlanta. Bill Montgomery. Does that ring a bell at all? Bill Montgomery?
Not to me, but I didn't get out much. I didn't. I moved there. I got pregnant. I cooked at a cooking school, and then I left. That was it. The only people I knew were people who lived next door to me and people I worked with. That was it. So and Georgia Organics. I was involved in Georgia Organics and Slow Food Atlanta. So I know. Yeah, that was wonderful. Those were great organizations. Yay.
Well,
Georgia
I'm excited
Organics.
about the black beans, and I'm going to make tell me again how to make a black bean cake for bread.
Just drain the black beans really well and smash them up. And I personally would recommend putting in an egg, particularly an egg that's, you beat up a little bit and mix it in there. And if you have some kind of, I know you don't eat wheat.
No, I have.
But some kind of like breadcrumbs, if you will.
A
little bit of breadcrumbs.
I have a can of beans. I just happen to have that can of beans.
Gluten-free breadcrumbs and seasonings, like anything you would normally put in, like cilantro, cumin, coriander, lime zest, garlic, caramelize the onions first, throw them in there, mix it all up, make sure that it isn't too loose, and then just put it on in there in the pan and
like a meatball.
let it. Yeah, well, you figure the egg is soft when you mix it together, but when it cooks, it gets hard. So the egg is going to help hold it together. So don't be worried if it's a little loose. It should, as long as you drain that liquid out, it should tighten up. And if it
Totally
tastes good, it
frozen.
doesn't matter. And if you hate it, don't do it again. Don't do it twice.
Don't do it twice.
Well, maybe twice, but
Thank
not
you,
three times.
Chef Gina Melita. Thank
Yay,
you.
Jenna, I miss
love
you. It's so good to talk to
I
you.
know, we need to
Yay.
talk. Like,
I know, right? Like for talk.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a minute.
let's do
Right.
that this weekend if we can.
Good night, everybody. I hope I didn't bore you.
No, not at all. You're fabulous. As Bill says, Gina is the bomb, but really, Gina is the bomb shit.
Hey, that's my term.
I know. I use it.
It might be Benny's term. I'm not sure.
I always quote you. I say, and you know, as Gina says, and sometimes people go, the bomb shit. They type it
The
in.
bomb shit. That's right. That's the bomb shit. All right, sweetie. Love you. I'm going to say goodnight to you. Good night, Nick. Good night to everybody.
Night.
Bye. Ciao.
See you soon.
Yes.
I love her. She's so great. Thank you. I know she's always next time she's on. I'll let you know beforehand, and always comes with great ideas. Always, always, always. You guys, thank you so much. 11:11 with Jenna. Friday night. Actually, it's now Saturday morning. The bomb shit. Mm-hmm. Karen knows. So tomorrow is Saturday, and Gary Lambert will be here. And that's tomorrow night. And Sunday's Father's Day, and I think, we'll just do the mornings have been, well, today wasn't quick. We were outside. Mama Grace was here this morning, so that was fun. But got some stuff coming up, some stuff cooking. But Corona Roki next Thursday night. I'm telling you. It's the bomb shit. Peaceful thoughts. Joyful words. And a bright heart. Have a lovely morning, evening, sleeping, whatever you're going to do next. Dinner. Good night. Good night, everyone. Good night, Ruth. Good night, Julie. Okay, let's see. Ruth is here and I wish her good night. Julie Luce and Benny Vega, you seem out of sight. And Karen, yes, the bomb shit. And Jim Chang, I'm really glad you were here tonight. And Bill and Julie and Naomi, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Heather Fraser, lovely to see you. And all the rest of you, I wish you a good night. And Mama Grace, I will see you in the morning time. And Lily and Pearl and I are gonna go out and find a dime. Love heart.